a lot of states and the federal statutes require a mandatory minimum without parole sentence based on a certain quantity of drugs. So if you meet a threshold quantity of coke, meth, fentanyl, whatever it is, you're going to go to jail for this amount. And if you have this amount, you're going to go to prison this amount. And no amount of whining, crying, coming to Jesus, none of that works unless people cooperate. And that forces, they literally have the key to the prison door in some respect, because the cooperation puts their head in a whole different place. They have to admit what they did and confess, basically, in order to reduce their sentence. So that mandatory minimums put a tremendous amount of incentive for defendants to cooperate. Without cooperation, your investigation stops at them, because they're the ones that know this. And as you go up the ladder, you get higher and higher, more and more. And so those are critical. Without mandatory minimums, and in today's society, so-called criminal justice reform is to dumb everything down, is to not charge people in the first place, not apply the laws evenly and fairly, and pat people on the head and tell them to go away. And there's not consequences. And in that situation, basically all you do is you catch small-time dealers that are often addicts, and you don't move up the ladder. So mandatory minimums are absolutely critical, because without those, there's no sure consequences. No one has the incentive to cooperate, and the big guys get away. So some states are moving away from that. It's a terrible, terrible mistake. People have to understand their consequences. People have to understand that unless they get their acts together and they help solve some of the problems they created, they're not getting a break. It's the best thing ever. And if we get away from that, we're doomed. We might as well give up. That being said, people that were not subject to mandatory minimums, in the federal system, we didn't even prosecute people that were below a certain threshold of drugs. We treated them as cooperating witnesses. Sometimes we would send them to state court to have a sentence that wasn't a mandatory minimum case. Sometimes they would be treated as simply as witnesses, and we try to get them into treatment programs, help them get their acts together, because again, justice was the goal. And if someone was redeemable, someone was fixable, and they were helping us, we wanted them to be successful. So to me, it's all good, and without that, we would be wasting a lot of time.